The Amarillo Symphony is celebrating its 100th year this year, and it's got plenty of big performances lined up for the community to enjoy. This morning on the 806, we sit down with the music director for the symphony and find out what drives his passion for music, as well as how the many different styles in music in Amarillo influence this orchestral staple on the High Plains. In this morning's 806.
One of the things I love about an orchestra is that you have so many different types of people playing different types of instruments, and yet at the same time, even though they're all doing different things, they're supposed to come together and fulfill the same thing. And in a way, it's the perfect metaphor for like how we should be trying to live, right? And that's why I think music's so powerful, because it's all about everybody does different things, has different personalities, but can come together to do the same thing. And so this is my second season. So I've finished a year, and it's exciting that my second season, which is pretty early in my relationship with the orchestra, is also our centenary, our 100th anniversary. And so we've spent really the last year preparing for the 100th, but also thinking about what are the next 100 years going to be for the orchestra, because I think it's as much a celebration of what we've done, but also what's coming next. And so it feels like quite a responsibility to jump into, having only been here for a year. For music, I think I started in a rock band, actually. I was always a guitarist and a little bit a drummer, and later on I played as a violinist in my local youth symphony. And I think for me, music was always this very social thing. I made great friends by being in a band, by being in an orchestra, and I think that in a way music is in some ways the byproduct. Actually, you create a wonderful society around music, and I think that's what drew me to Amarillo, that yes, you have the symphony and you have the music making that we do, but the community that surrounds it is just a wonderful environment. I started as a drummer, mainly because I was at school and the local band, they just needed a drummer, and I'd always been interested in that. So that was a very different thing to playing the guitar. Playing the violin was different as well, because you in some way playing in an orchestra, you're one of 80 or 90 people. So you have to kind of like work out what your position is within the group. They're all very different, so it's hard to say.
Okay.
But I think before, Amarillo has a very, very strong reputation for its symphony. So I knew about the symphony before I was here, and I think the fact that it's 100 years old, there's a legacy that's associated with the orchestra, and so I kind of knew that was a particularly interesting symphony, and at the point that I was shortlisted for the music director position, that's when I really began my kind of intense research into the community, into the history of the symphony. And I think what I find most fascinating is not just the symphony on its own, but just the way that the musical ecosystem works in Amarillo. You have these incredible universities, AC, Amarillo College, WT, they're so closely related to how the orchestra functions. But then you also have this very famous, typically Texan string education program, band and marching band program, and all of those things I think are the reason why the orchestra is so strong.
How many musicians do y'all have in the symphony or the orchestra?
It depends on the particular concert we do, but usually between 60 and about 85, maybe even 90. Sometimes we team up with the Amarillo Master Chorale, who are our kind of related big chorus. Sometimes we'll have 100, 110 on stage, depending on the piece. So it's big responsibility, a lot of people, yeah.
And if you're interested in trying out for the Amarillo Symphony's 2024 season, just go to their website, amarillosymphony.org.